In our commitment to be in right relationship with the descendants of this area's indigenous people, we place a small basket of black oak acorns on our altar each week. In doing so, we acknowledge the Nisenan people are still here among us today, though nearly invisible after generations of erasure and exclusion from California's history. We understand we are on Nisenan land that was never ceded, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the genocide of their people. As residents or visitors in Nisenan land, we support the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe in efforts to stabilize their people, as well as their campaign to restore tribal sovereignty through federal recognition.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's so funny. It feels like a full house. Even though there are about 20 some of us in the room. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community of the Mountains. I'm the Reverend Kevin Tarsa. Typically, one of our amazing worship associates would be welcoming you at this point. They've been working so hard. Today, for this gentle meditative service, they get a break. And Reverend Karyn Packard joins me with not only her wonderful music making at the piano, but also later leading us in a time of prayer. Siobhan is here behind the scenes with Bob and Steve. Andy Dooley Miller was scheduled to be here and twisted his ankle, so may that heal swiftly, Andy. Carmen's been greeting people. Shanti's created another beautiful setting. And Eileen is her chat host this morning for everyone who's online. I'm very glad to welcome you to this time together as we consider one of the pathways to peacefulness and joy. In this Advent season of anticipating what is to come, we are inviting ourselves to open to joy in the midst of all else that's swirling and unfolding and shifting in our lives, opening up room for joy in our hearts, our souls, our bodies, joy that is available not because everything is perfect, but because joy doesn't require everything to be perfect. This morning, we continue this congregation's tradition of offering a meditative service at this time of year when holiday energies are ramping up, when family and home dynamics are often felt more strongly, when losses can feel wider and deeper. Through breath and silence, song, words, movement, and prayer, we'll look for the peacefulness available to us in these moments. So welcome to all of you here in the room, all of you online. I invite you in either place to look around, to catch each other's eyes for a moment if you're in the room, to look around your screen if you've got that at home available to the folks who've got their camera on. A moment to realize you're not alone, that you're together here. And I would extend a welcome to all of you personally, the full and real you, with all that makes you unique and human, your skin, your experiences, your identities, the parts of yourself that you love and appreciate, the parts of yourself that frustrate or worry you, the part that is aching, the part that is lonely, that part of you that is ready and curious, the part of you that is entirely unsure, the part of you that feels at home, the part of you that is longing for a sense of home. Welcome to all of who you are. May our hearts be opened this morning. May our minds be stilled. May our truths be spoken. And may our lives together over time fulfill the promise of peace that waits patiently, ready, at the center of who we truly are.
May our chalice burn all through the night. May our chalice burn all through the night. May our be spoken, and may our lives fulfill this promise of peace, this promise of peace, this promise of peace, this promise of peace.
I invite you to light your chalice if you're at home. And I invite all of us to get ready for the movement once again, led by Grace Kendrick, the Circle of Joy movement.
We'll begin a movement series called the Circle of Joy. So you'll want to start by coming forward on your chair, bringing your sit bones up towards the top of your chair, and taking your feet onto the earth. This is a series that's designed to soften and relax the shoulders, open the heart, and invite joy into our mind, body, and spirit. We'll be connecting breath and movement, and we'll start by bringing the hands together on an inhale in front of the heart. On the exhale, interlace the fingers, round through your spine, and tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, lengthen through the sides. And on the exhale, bring the hands behind your back. Lean forward, interlace the fingers, and inhale, open the heart. On the exhale, release the hands, rounding forward, hands moving in toward each other. And then inhale, hands back in front of the heart. And again, exhale, interlace the fingers, round through the spine. Inhale through the nose as you lift and lengthen through the side body. Exhale, hands behind your back. Lean forward, interlace the fingers, and then inhale, open the heart, arch the spine. And on the exhale, rounding forward, hands coming in towards each other. Inhale, hands in front of the heart. Exhale, round through the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, arms overhead, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Inhale, open the heart, arch the spine. Exhale, release the hands, arms come in front as you round through the spine. Inhale, hands together, back in front of the heart. Last one. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, round. And inhale, hands in front of the heart.
Grace will lead her Circle of Joy in person next Sunday. That rhythm already has us noticing our breath, the rhythm of our breathing. So I'm about to invite us into a time of some focused breathing, to center ourselves, to soothe our bodies, our minds, our hearts. And in case it's helpful, I offer you a few possible tools. One encouragement is to simply let your breath gradually ease, so your in-breath becomes slowly more and more relaxed and spacious, and your out-breath gradually extends longer and longer with each breath. You might consider a two-part breath on the way in, where you breathe in, and then breathe in a little bit more, and then slowly exhale, about twice as long as the inhale. Another possibility would be to enjoy a triangle-shaped breath, where you breathe in slowly on a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe out over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one final possibility, especially if you're at home, a technique from Dr. Peter Levine, which he says can physiologically help relieve a sense of despair. And that is, after a full, easy in-breath, to extend that out-breath by using the syllable vu. Vu. So any of those are options, and you may have your own practice of breathing. I invite you to breathe in some gentle and attentive way, and this will be for 2 minutes, so you know we're going to breathe for a little bit. So in your own way, let us breathe together. Thank you. I encourage you to keep breathing into Leah Morris's story and song and into the rest of our precious time together.
Let me tell you about the tiger and the strawberry. Once there was a wise woman who every evening after dinner went for a stroll just to wind down the day. And on this one particular evening, as she was walking, she heard behind her a low, unfortunately familiar growl. It was the sound of a tiger that had caught her scent and was crouching, preparing to pounce. The woman didn't waste a second. She immediately began running for her life in the opposite direction, but she knew also towards the cliff. She had no choice. She had to get away. And as she dove over the side, at the last second, she was able to grasp a root that was hanging from the cliff. Up above, she could see the tiger just as it swiped its paw and tried to grab her. She was able to duck out of the way, but the tiger paced back and forth, waiting for her to tire of holding on to this rope. Now, luckily, the woman knew that the fall below was just a few feet. It would hurt, scrape her up, maybe break a bone or two, but it was survivable. So she looked down to find a good spot to land, only to discover that another tiger was pacing the ground beneath her feet. And as she hung there, debating, strategizing, trying to imagine a possible way to escape, a mouse scurried over and began nibbling on the roots that she was holding on to. And in that moment, she noticed that growing out of the side of the cliff, there was a small wild plant with a plump, red, ripe strawberry. So with one hand, she reached over, grabbed it, tasted it, and savored that sweetness. This story reminds us that in any situation, we can be open to joy. It isn't always easy, but it's always available. And this story inspired this song. Trouble above, trouble below, trouble ahead of me. What do you know? Wake up in the morning, what do I find? Trouble is everywhere, but ain't none on my mind. 'Cause I got peace like a river, I got love through the night, I got joy like a fountain, I'm gonna be alright. I've got rhythm and harmony ringing in me. Love is free, love is free. Peace is free, joy is free, free, free. Is there strife in the world? Is there strife in the home? Are you feeling a little lost? Are you feeling alone? Waking up at midnight. Do you remember your dreams? Riding a raft on a cool, gentle stream. Yes, you have peace like a river, love through the night. You've got joy like a fountain, my dear, you can be alright. 'Cause you've got rhythm and harmony ringing in you. And love is true, love is true. Peace is true, peace is true. Joy is true, true, true. Whatever way you're looking, there is something there to see. Is it a paradise or prison? Or what do you believe? We can have peace like a river, joy from our souls. We can have love as a beacon, guiding everywhere we go. Let our hearts beat the rhythm, let the anthem we sing be. Love is free, love is free. Peace is free, peace is free. Joy is free, free, free. Love is free, love is free. Peace is free, peace is free. Joy is free, free, free.
I first heard Leah's song, I heard it as love is free as in cost. But the symbol she uses is free as in liberated. Love is free. Peace is free, liberated. Joy is free. The images of destruction along the tornado's paths in the Midwest this week, those trees stripped of their branches, the homes and buildings torn and splayed out, vehicles flipped and scattered. For me, they've been this powerful image of many kinds of destruction, right? A symbol for all kinds of destruction. So I invite us to hold in our hearts and in our prayers this morning those who have suffered the loss of loved ones, homes, hometowns, workplaces in the Midwest. Those around the world caught in the gales of political violence and insecurity. Those pulled under in the latest currents of the virus. Those who are always facing the buffeting winds of racism. Those who are inching their way through these fall and winter holidays, minus the physical presence of someone they have loved deeply and dearly. We remember, too, those who are savoring the sweet flavor of joy and love in their lives, perhaps despite trouble above and trouble below, as Leah put it. I invite you, as we do each week, to surface the prayers, the sorrows, the joys, the worries, the gratitudes, aches, and the caring that are most resonant within you in this particular moment. I invite you to find your wishes for people's well-being, your prayers, your pleas, your intentions. First, for the sake of your own awareness, the chance to realize what is moving in your heart, in case you hear a call to act on what you discover there. Those of you who are here online, if you wish to share your joys and sorrows by typing them in the chat in this more public way, I'll read at least some of them today. Those of you here in the room, I invite you, if you wish to find your way to the front, to choose a stone or two or three to place in the bowl of water, honoring silently all that you hold in your heart. Karyn offers us gentle music. Know that you are not alone, and let us hold each other in love and care and compassion. Beautiful, Karyn. Thank you. I've also placed stones for all the rest that we hold, that we may never know. I invite us to hold all of this through an extended period, first with our meditation, which will be the Buddhist meditation in song this morning, in which we surface our awareness and compassion and our desire for the well-being for ourselves, for one another, for all of us gathered, and then for all of life, extending that care outward in circles. We'll move from the song right into another shared silence, a time of quiet meditation, prayer, and breathing. And out of that sacred shared silence, a prayer led by Reverend Karyn. First the song and silence, the prayer. May we indeed be filled with loving kindness.
May we be well.
May my suggestions in some way remind you of the constant presence of peace in all our lives and in all our world. May you be comfortable. May your heart and your mind be open and ready to be reminded of what you already know. My first question to you: where are you when you feel most peaceful? Perhaps it's sitting alone in the early morning, or on a trail, listening to the birds, or watching a deer in the distance. It might be the water that calls you, the ocean, where the sound and the regularity of the waves calm you, or a lake where reflections sparkle in the sunlight and where your own face can join that of the mountains and the trees. Take yourself to that place. Thank Spirit, in whatever form it takes for you, for each opportunity you've had in your life to experience peace in such a place. Maybe that peaceful place is only in your mind, and you've yet to visit it. Spirit, thank you. Thank you for filling our minds with beautiful pictures that can rescue us from the ideas and feelings and experiences that cause us unrest. May our beautiful and inspiring relocation settle us from the inside out. We are softer now, more receptive. Our challenged mind is taking a rest and allowing our own inner peace to fill us to the brim. When we're in this place, our peace is contagious. It touches others. It has the power now to heal. It magnifies outwards in ways that are too powerful for words. Spirit manifests peace in each of us, and it starts spreading like ripples in a pond where you've thrown in a stone. Do you see the ripples getting larger and larger and larger? Embrace that Spirit knows what we do not. Thank you, Spirit, for your protection, for your care. Thank you that we're held in strong and loving hands that always pick us up when we stumble or when we fall. Perhaps this day, you or someone you love are suffering. We know that there are many kinds of suffering, real and imagined. For all this, we ask Spirit for healing. In suffering, we're drawn to find answers, but this morning, I ask you to set that problem-solving part of yourself aside. Give it a rest. Open yourself. Imagine that you are holding your favorite cup or mug, and it's full of all your suggestions to self or others. Suggestions that you think need your attentiveness to be resolved. Tip your cup. Watch each effort leave the cup and float away. Your cup is now empty. Hold it out in front of you. Look inside, it's empty. It's now ready for grace to fill it with spirit-filled solutions. And these solutions are magical. They're a gift to you and to others. Congratulations. You've made space for them. And in the process, you're given a chance to surrender. A surrender that frees you from stresses and strains and fills you with peace. And this peace trusts in positive outcomes, even when the situations seem dire in the present. Remember, my friends, that this peaceful place is available to you at any time. Spirit is everywhere and in everything. And this peacefulness is yours for the asking. It is worth seeking. We are in gratitude for the benevolence that wraps us as if in a soft blanket and keeps us and ours protected. Thank you, Spirit, for everything that reminds us of good. Keep that information, that knowledge, close to us. It will always be required as we navigate the rough seas of our lives. We are not alone. We are surrounded by love, and we can rest in peace. Amen.
Karyn, thank you. Thank you. This promise of peace. These monthly themes that we draw upon invite us to explore the large spiritual, emotional themes, as well as the nooks and crannies of those spiritual and emotional themes. This month we're being invited, or inviting each other, to be opening ourselves to joy. After the last several years of social, political, climate, and public health challenges and dangers, tigers above and tigers below often, it feels both necessary and challenging to keep joy present and visible in the picture, as Karyn just invited us to remember. Rather than racing head-on to joy this month, we're drawing on the African American spiritual "There's More Love Somewhere" to notice various pathways, possible pathways to joy. The path of hope last week, or hopelessness as the case may be. The path of love next Sunday. And today, the path of peace, building on this tradition of a meditative service in December. On Christmas Eve, we'll go right to joy. Although Christmas Eve, at its best, is all about love, hope, peace, and joy. Because of where I'm at in my own seeking and searching and learning and growing, I'm bringing myself to each of these paths or windows, the spiritual invitation to let go, to surrender in some way. Since so much wisdom about joy points out to us that joy is not so much something we create or assemble as something already available that we recognize and allow by letting go of our grasping and our attempts to control that get in the way. Like the strawberry on the cliff, noticing the strawberry. Same is true of the pathways to joy themselves. We have to let go in many ways to realize hope, to live love, to be peaceful. Letting go into those possibilities. As I feel into the nature of peace today on the way to joy, I find it helpful to make a distinction for myself between the peacefulness that I can feel in a moment or for a brief time until something bugs me or disturbs or angers or frightens me, and a peacefulness that's more sustained as a way of approaching life no matter what's going on. I'm wanting to cultivate that kind of peacefulness in my heart and mind and body as a way of moving through my days, not only as something I get to occasionally, but something I can find all the time. And wisdom teachings tell us that we can start by letting go of the notion that everything needs to be good for that to be true. Everything needs to be calm and hunky-dory in order for us to feel that peaceful heartedness. Because that's never going to arrive beyond brief fragments of time. Mark Nepo gets right to the heart of it. In the Endless Practice, as he addresses what he calls the magic of peace, he writes, "I'm beginning to see that tranquility is the depth of being that holds what we think and feel, not the still point after we've silenced what we think and feel. Serenity is the depth of being that holds difficulty, not the resting point after we've ended difficulty. And peace is the depth of being that holds suffering and doubt, not the raft we climb on to avoid suffering and doubt. Our lives around us are never going to reach a final settled silence or a lasting resting point beyond difficulty or a sustained state that keeps us always floating above suffering and doubt, at least not while we're alive. Nepo says that it's only through the majesty and the mess of our feelings that we can approach peace. The majesty and the mess of our feelings. Thinking and feeling the difficulties, the suffering, the doubt never end, he says, but then neither do tranquility, serenity, peace. Tranquility, serenity, peace don't arise because feelings and difficulties, suffering and doubt disappear. They're available all along, between the tigers above and the tigers below. In Mark Nepo's words, it's important to accept these fundamental notions of reality. Otherwise, we can waste our energy trying to bring an end to things that have no end, rather than developing those skills to navigate these timeless currents and to recognize that peace of which Karyn speaks. Living peace isn't something we're going to achieve or arrive at once we get it all together, once everything calms down at some magical horizon point in the future. Peace is what's available here in the midst of the majesty and the mess of everything. Darn. I'm always hoping to bypass the mess. In the written spiritual resources to which I turn these days, like Pema Chodron's teaching and Mark Nepo's writings, the chapters on peace always come at or near the end of the book. They're never at the beginning. All the rest is about learning to let go and develop those inner skills to navigate the never-ending currents of life and then to recognize that peace that's available. It's always about learning to stay present to what is rather than running from it or shutting it out. It's a deep lifetime work, they remind us, and no one masters it absolutely. As Pema Chodron writes, when we're training in the art of peace, When we're learning the art of peace, there are no promises that everything will be okay. In fact, there are no promises of fulfillment at all. She says that instead we're encouraged to look deeply at joy and sorrow, to look deeply at laughing and crying, to look deeply at hoping and fearing, all that lives and dies, she says. And then in the process, we learn that what truly heals is gratitude and tenderness in the midst of it all. So I'll invite us in a moment to one final time of quiet meditation, prayerfulness, with the invitation to enter that time in a way that serves you, to again return to that peace to which Karyn invited us, to practice staying present with whatever is present in you, your joy and your sorrow, your laughing, your crying, your hoping, your fearing, whatever is right now for you. The practice of simply being present to what is and then opening to joy in the process. Mark says that joy is much larger and deeper than any one feeling. In fact, he says it's all of those feelings combined. Happiness, fear, anxiety, contentment, doubt, regret, unworthiness, anger, despair. They're all the waves that rise and fall in the sea of being. And joy is the ocean that holds all the feelings. It makes me think of the way that light is visible as a full spectrum, that we can divide it into separate colors when we narrow our vision. Joy is the sum total of all of it, not the absence of any of it. So, of course, I'm not the expert in any of this. I'm the beginning pupil, but I invite us into one more silence as we support each other in this time together. I invite you to point yourself in the direction of peace and so the direction of joy by staying gently present. Mark Nepo thought of jellyfish he had seen in an aquarium when he was thinking of this kind of relaxed surrender and peacefulness, translucent, vulnerable, soft, riding the currents. I'll offer some imagery. If that serves you during this meditation, great. If it distracts you, I invite you to close your eyes and to look within. and our children teaches that we don't sit in meditation to become good meditators. We sit in meditation in silence and prayerfulness so that we'll be more awake in our lives. May we each and together learn ways to be more awake in our lives, to more often notice peace and joy available always. So may we be.
"25% of our offering this month will support Hospitality House, whose mission is to bring homeless people in Nevada County into a circle of community caring that offers shelter, sustenance, medical care, advocacy, opportunity, dignity, and hope as we assist them in transitioning from homelessness to housing. In my experience volunteering over the years with Hospitality House, I have been fortunate and inspired to see guests transition, sometimes through a long process, from unhoused to housed, and to share in their joy, gratitude, and sense of a new start in their life journey. The range of services available at Hospitality House beyond housing reaches all aspects of the guests' lives and provides a foundation to build upon. I am encouraged and heartened by my time spent at the house, and I hope that you may share in those feelings through your donations. Since we are both passing a plate to people present and donating virtually, giving in other ways is vital to our ability to sustain the work of our community. Thank you for your generosity. Here is information about how to give by text, PayPal, UUCM's website, or by mail. We dedicate this morning's offering to cultivating compassion and mutual support here among us and in the wider community.
I invite members and friends to fill out that facilities exploration survey. If you haven't done so already, watch for an email today. And thank you, Eileen, for being chat host, Siobhan and Steve and Bob. Andy, may you heal swiftly Shanti, thank you for the setting. Karyn, thank you for such beauty this morning, both musically and heart-wise, both very much. Thanks always to Leah, as Jordan and Julie singing on that chalice lighting today. To George and Grace and Renee for participating via video. And to Corey and George for working behind the scenes once again. To let your hearts be opened, let your minds be stilled, let your truth be spoken. Let our lives fulfill this promise of peace. Together, let us share in this community benediction that reminds us that we are connected to one another and beyond. Together, let us carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again